This is the brief on the Liverpool and Leeds United rivalry. Their intense history isn't just some dusty nostalgia. It's an ongoing, high-stakes drama that's still delivering wild matches and staggering ticket demand today. First, let's look at where this bad blood really peaked. The 1974 Charity Shield at Wembley. It ended 1-1 before Liverpool snatched it 6-5 on sudden death penalties. But honestly, it's famous because a literal fistfight broke out between Leeds' Billy Bremner and Liverpool's Keegan. Both guys saw red, threw their shirts on the ground, and caught 500-pound fines plus massive 11-match bans. It was basically a heavyweight boxing bout breaking out right on the pitch, proving this fixture is never just a friendly. Second, that historic animosity brings us to their shocking 2026 preseason U.S. tour friendly at Chicago's Soldier Field. Liverpool, under coach Andoni Iraola, cruised to a 2-0 halftime lead via Luke Chambers and Florian Wirtz. But then, Leeds completely flipped the script. They scored 4 times in the second half, including a Dominic Calvert-Lewin double, winning 4-2. So, how does a top team completely lose the plot and leak 4 goals in a single half? It just shows the stakes are already massive. Finally, their next official Premier League meeting hits December 12, 2026 at Anfield. And if you want to go, hospitality packages are wild. They range from £382 at the Sandon, the exact pub where Liverpool was founded, to a staggering £1,043 per person in the premium Japan Airlines lounge. Seriously, is dropping over $1,000 for 90 minutes of football really worth it? From ripped shirts and fistfights to stunning second-half collapses and £1,000 tickets, the Liverpool-Leeds rivalry remains as unpredictable and dramatic as ever.
Imagine a corporate takeover where the new CEO walks in, tells the top-performing team they're absolute garbage.
Yeah, and then the staff settles the whole dispute with an actual fist fight on live television.
Right, exactly. That is basically what happened at Wembley Stadium back in August 1974.
Welcome to today's Deep Dive. We're pulling from a bunch of match reports, historical archives, and player biographies to unpack the infamous Charity Shield match between Liverpool and Leeds United.
And we are really looking at how 2 brand new managers approached this massive transition, right?
Right.
Plus, how a totally chaotic penalty shootout decided the whole thing.
The stakes here were just incredibly high. I mean, both clubs had just lost absolute titans of the sport. Liverpool said goodbye to Bill Shankly, and Leeds lost Don Revie.
Exactly. These were managers who had literally built those clubs from the second division into first division powerhouses.
Yeah.
So the entire culture of both teams was deeply tied to those departed founders. You'd think taking over a championship-winning team like Leeds or, an FA Cup winning team like Liverpool would be the easiest job in the world. Just don't touch anything, let them play, collect the trophies. Did they actually try to mess with a winning formula?
Well, that's where we see 2 completely divergent strategies in change management, especially in their tactical approaches. Bob Paisley at Liverpool recognized that the existing system worked. So his approach was just a seamless transition.
He didn't want to rock the boat.
Not at all. He fielded 10 of the 11 players who had just won the FA Cup. He even asked the retired Shankly to lead the team out onto the pitch at Wembley.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was this huge signal to everyone that the core philosophy remained intact.
So Paisley is acting like the smart new CEO who keeps the beloved founder on the letterhead. It signals stability so the staff doesn't panic. He really understood that mechanism of trust. But Brian Clough goes the exact opposite route at Leeds, doesn't he?
Oh, absolutely. Clough detonated the culture from day one. He fielded the existing championship-winning Leeds squad, but tactically and psychologically, he demanded a total overhaul.
Because he had been a really loud public critic of Don Revie's team for years, right?
Yeah, routinely calling them cheats in public. He walked into his first training session and essentially told them to throw their medals in the trash.
Just kidding.
Because they hadn't won them fairly. I mean, he literally said that.
Wow. So instead of a unified team, Clough created a massive power struggle right out of the gate.
Totally. The players stepped onto the pitch with a massive chip on their shoulders. They weren't just playing Liverpool. They were violently defending their legacy against their own manager's philosophy.
And that internal friction is exactly why the match exploded into chaos. The tactical aggression really spilled over into actual violence.
It did. By the 60th minute, that psychological pressure cooker just burst. It resulted in this notorious fistfight between Liverpool's Keegan and Leeds captain Billy Bremner.
The referee just hands out double red cards. Keegan rips off his shirt and throws it away in protest as he leaves the pitch, and then Bremner simply mimics him.
It's wild. The managerial animosity literally bled into the players' behavior, leaving the game locked in a tense 1-1 draw at the final whistle. Which brings us to how they actually resolved this.
Right, because previously, if the Charity Shield ended in a draw, the teams just shared the trophy for 6 months each, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. But the FA had recently introduced a brand new rule to force a definitive outcome. It was a best-of-5 penalty shootout followed by sudden death.
And both teams were flawless in that first round, hitting a perfect 5-5 tie. Then sudden death kicks in, and Leeds inexplicably chooses their goalkeeper, David Harvey, to take their first shot.
The psychology there is just baffling. I mean, under immense pressure, putting your goalkeeper forward as the first sudden death taker is a monumental risk.
And it backfired spectacularly, right? Harvey blasted the ball over the crossbar.
He really did, leaving the door wide open for Liverpool's Ian Callaghan.
So Callaghan steps up, runs at the ball, slips, falls backward while kicking it, but the ball still manages to hit the back of the net. Liverpool wins 6-5.
It's such a messy, stumbling victory, but it gets the job done. And that chaotic shootout really underscores the divergence of those two clubs.
How so?
Well, Paisley's continuity approach weathered the transition and launched him into a historic, trophy-laden career with 6 league championships and 3 European Cups.
While Clough's antagonistic approach created a completely fractured dressing room, and he was sacked less than 8 weeks later.
Exactly. If you are taking over a new team or stepping into a leadership role today, you really have to look at this match as the ultimate cautionary tale.
Success isn't just about the raw talent you inherit. It's entirely about how you manage the transition. Paisley nurtured the culture he inherited, and Clough completely shattered his.
Spot on. But the ripple effects of that day went far beyond just those two managers. The FA was absolutely furious about the brawl.
They slapped Keegan and Bremner with unprecedented 11-match bans and massive 500-pound fines under new Get Tough charter.
Which leaves a really fascinating question for you to mull over.
Right. Did the sheer televised brutality of this specific game inadvertently force English football to evolve? By cracking down so harshly on this chaotic Wembley brawl, did the FA inadvertently push the sport out of its physical fighting era and into the highly tactical modern game we watch today?
If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please consider subscribing to Decision 45. Your support means the world to us and helps us keep creating high-quality content just like this. Don't forget to hit that like button, leave a comment with your thoughts, and subscribe so you never miss an update.